There's a certain type of man who walks into a room and everyone turns. Not because he's loud, not because he's rich, not because he's flashy, but because his presence demands it. He doesn't need to raise his voice. He doesn't need to prove himself. He doesn't even need to speak. And yet, everyone knows that man is not to be messed with. This isn't about fake confidence. It's not about puffing your chest or putting on an act. It's about a deeper force, a silent gravity that pulls attention and commands respect. It's what the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi mastered centuries ago, and today we're going to rip open his mind, dissect his teachings, and pull out the raw principles you can use, starting now, to get respect without saying a single word. If you've ever been overlooked, if you've ever felt invisible in a room full of noise, this is your blueprint for becoming the kind of man who nobody ignores. Let's begin. The silent force of presence. By the time of his death, Musashi was a living legend, but what made him feared wasn't just his sword, it was the aura that surrounded him. This is a way of being. Musashi cut away every excess, every weakness, every drop of hesitation, and what remained was a presence so focused, so centered, that men would often refuse to fight him. This is the first truth. Respect doesn't come from how much you say, it comes from how much you are. Your presence, your energy, your stillness, that's your silent weapon. Let me show you how to sharpen it. 1. Craft the stillness that breaks nerves. There's a psychological edge in stillness. Most people fidget. They tap their foot, adjust their shirt, look around the room. You know why? Because they're unsure, unstable. But when you can stand still, calm, composed, relaxed, you send a signal that your emotions are under your control, not the world's. This is how predators move. Watch a panther stalk its prey. No wasted motion, no insecurity leaking through their body language. Sometimes Musashi arrived at duels hours early, sitting in absolute stillness, hiding and studying the battlefield. The lesson? Your control over yourself makes others feel out of control. Start practicing this in conversation, at work, in a crowd. Say less, move less, observe more. You'll see people start to adjust themselves around you. 2. Carry the invisible sword. Musashi wasn't all about swordsmanship. He was also about power and mastery over your life. You don't need a real blade. You need internal weight. Musashi trained endlessly, not just with swords, but with calligraphy, strategy, philosophy, and art. He built a world within himself that made him unshakable. When you walk through life with depth, people can feel it. They can't explain it, but they sense there's something about you they don't understand. And that mystery breeds respect. So here's what you do. Pick a skill, master it, become terrifyingly good at something, train when no one's watching, build your edge in silence, move with purpose. Every step, every action is chosen, not reactive. This builds your invisible sword, and even if no one sees it, they feel it. 3. Dominate the room without speaking. There's a moment when you walk into a room where everyone decides what you are. Most people blow it. They fumble their posture. They talk too soon. They try to blend in, or worse, impress. But power doesn't introduce itself. It lets others feel it first. When Miyamoto Musashi entered a space, he didn't need a title. He didn't need charm. His silence took up space. His stillness made others restless. He owned the frame before he even spoke. In modern life, this is rare, but devastatingly effective. You don't speak to get attention. You speak to shift gravity. You don't laugh to fit in. You let others adjust to your presence. Respect is rooted in perception, and perception begins before words. Here's how to own the room like a ghost with a blade. Enter slowly, calmly. Let the room adjust to you. Say nothing at first. Let people feel the silence around you. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Keep your shoulders relaxed, eyes focused, body still. Nervous energy is weakness. Calm energy is control. Listen like a predator, not a participant. Not to respond, but to read people, to spot weakness, to understand power dynamics. People instinctively fear what they can't read, become unreadable. When you walk into a room with quiet confidence, measured stillness, and nothing to prove, people feel your presence. They don't know why they respect you, but they do, because real power doesn't speak first. It waits and makes everyone else talk themselves into submission. 4. Strip away everything unnecessary. Musashi lived like a ghost. No house, no family, few possessions, not because he couldn't have them, but because he chose to walk light. In his Dokodo, he wrote, "Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need, and be indifferent to where you live." In a world of noise, flash, and vanity, minimalism is power. When you strip away the distractions, the fake status symbols, the loud clothes, the empty talk, you begin to radiate clarity. People don't respect noise, they respect substance. So here's a brutal truth. If you feel the need to talk too much, show too much, brag too much, it's because your presence isn't doing the talking. Silence exposes who you really are, and that's why most people are terrified of it. Start choosing simplicity over excess. Let your actions whisper louder than their words ever could. 5. Look death in the eye. One of Musashi's most powerful philosophies was meditating on death. He didn't fear it, he studied it, because when you accept death, you become untouchable. Musashi knew a man who has nothing to lose can't be intimidated. And that's the real source of his silent power. The reason most people beg for respect is because they're afraid of rejection, afraid of loss, afraid of being ignored. But when you've stared your fears in the face, when you've trained your mind to stay calm in chaos, when you become friends with pain and indifferent to praise, you become something very rare in this world. A man who doesn't need respect and gets it anyway. The dark mirror. Are you ready to disappear? Here's the part nobody talks about. To gain this kind of respect, you have to disappear first. You have to burn the fake parts of yourself in silence. You have to isolate, cut comforts, strip your identity down to the bone. No more pretending, no more chasing, only training, only refining. And then, one day, you'll walk into a room and people will feel something different, something cold, something focused, something dangerous. You won't need to speak. You won't need to prove anything. You'll be like a blade tucked in a sheath, silent, sharp, and ready. That's the Musashi way. Practical steps to walk the path. Let's bring this down from legend to action. Here's how you start building silent respect today. Daily stillness training. Sit in silence for 15 minutes every day. No phone, no noise. Just sit. Learn to own stillness. Master a skill in the shadows. Choose one craft, martial art, instrument, writing, coding, whatever. Obsess. Train like a ghost. Say 50% less. Catch yourself oversharing, explaining, trying to prove. Stop. Let your silence speak. Dress with intention, not noise. Wear simple, sharp, clean clothes. No logos, no flexing. Power is in minimalism. Visualize death every morning. Remind yourself, today I could die. Then act like a man who doesn't fear it. Walk alone. Sometimes not out of bitterness, but strength. Walk without music, without distraction. Let your mind harden. Make eye contact like you're already dead. Don't look away. Don't smile too quickly. Let your gaze say, I am here, and I do not fear you. Final words. You don't get respect by demanding it. You get it by becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to ask. Musashi didn't win because he had better swords. He won because he became the sword. Cold, clean, unforgiving, and yet calm, precise, disciplined. In a world of noise, be silence. In a world of lies, be principle. In a world of weakness, be edge. That's how you get respect without saying a word. Now disappear and train. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.